Hi, folks. Nick Tuckert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Well, folks, we've got a lot to talk about. I'm rather excited. We've got some good conversation. May get a little spicy in here, but we're going to keep it interesting. But first, of course, we have to play a few bills, so I'm going to do that. Let me move this lovely picture of me and my wife that got moved down from the wall of cool to answer a question and get into what's coming. Remember, this program is brought to you first and foremost by the sales of the Simple Sword. The Simple Sword is the best way to pick up and go from so you've never held a sword to becoming a proficient fencer on the market, learning multiple weapons and styles, and going from I've never handled it to being able to teach others in a safe, sane fashion. The logic that brought you that brought two lovely sequels, the Fighting Axe and the Simple Spear. All of these are available through Amazon at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Tucker. We're also made possible by my incredible Patreon folks who their donations keep this alive, and they constantly funnel me into talking about things here. I try to give them Patreon exclusives, and they're like, no, bring it to the guild. Let everybody have it, because they're the coolest people on the planet. They pay my bills, and I love them. That's why I can afford to do training and do things, and even appearances, like the Region Con appearance coming up in April, where I will be running a booth out of the Region Con Gaming Convention and selling my books, my games, everything else, running big stompy robots, and a few other things. And I would love to see some of my sword fighting lovelies there. Now, one other person who must be shouted out is our own Joe Bachman, who has donated the StreamYard for this current year and next year already. So I should be able to keep doing sexy StreamYard things unless something goes very, very wrong. I've been asked, in the case something goes wrong, what would you do? This would go back to being a straight YouTube show, and I'd have a lot less of my snazzy features. But we're going to make that all work, and we're not there. Things are going good. You guys make this great. Now, we have a lot to talk about. This week has been fascinating. I have found out that there has been some glitches, but my affiliate link should still work for woodenswords.com. So if you're going to Purple Heart Armory to do any purchases, please use that affiliate link. I get a small percentage, and Christian knows that my students love his work. So that is important. Now, I'm going to go through the chat. We'll catch up with the chat best we can. Dear Lord, you guys have been a little busy. And then we'll talk about what's on my mind, because I've got some airline armament discussions. I've got combat corsetry discussions, as brought to me by my wife and brought up by Jill Barrett, and a few other delightful things in the works. So, and it's gone. Okay. That's fine. Let's hit the commentary, and we'll go from there. Joe Bachman, 1 hour till the show starts. Everyone grab your snacks, your water. We're going to all remember to hydrate, folks, and hit the bathroom one more time. Already did that. Settling in and sorting music while I wait. Hey, Foxy. And the new indiecd.org is finally transferred to the new hosting, so I'm playing catch-up on updates to profiles and creating new ones. Guys, indiecd.org is the place to go if you're an independent creator, because it will be a place that you will be safer against the threat of becoming deplatformed. It's really tragic that people can get bumped off of social media for a mistype or a misconstrued word, and you have to fight the bots just to keep your business alive. So please consider that. Also, nicholastucker.com is back running. I am still working on digging my way out of the study. But those of you who've noticed that I can move around and I can do some limited drills like last week, means that I am making progress. Cool. Right now, I'm just working on music to put on my phone. I have sworn off major music streamers because of all the done limitations, and I'm not paying more to be able to skip a song I am not in the mood for. Awesome. I'm a I'm a DL MP3 app instead and have my own music library. Remember, folks. Okay, this is off topic, but it's all about adaptive situational stuff. Uh, if okay, I'm getting distracted by a picture. I'm going to show you guys a picture before we get back into it. It was discussed about me in tights, so this picture was brought up. This is me and Amanda. I want to say at Valday or Celtic 12th night. Oh, 20 something, nearly 20 years ago. About 20 years ago, I think. Sorry, I don't take phone calls during my stream. Especially at 8 o'clock. There's literally no one in Kentland who should have my number. So I'm sure that that's a scam. But if you see me looking over and smirking, it's because that picture's a lot closer than it normally is on my wall of cool, and I'm kind of in a sentimental mood, a little nostalgia. I may have blared Bob Seger for a while this afternoon. Anyhow, remember, many libraries still have CD collections, and CDs may be ripped to as MP3s. And when in doubt, use the VLC media player. It's free. The guy who created it was awesome. They want something that just played stuff. I'll deal with that later too. But it's great tech. Now we're gonna go through here. Not sure if you're into instrumentals or not, but I'd highly recommend looking up Dan Hallfield. Dan Hallfield is the host of Last Man Standing. He's usually on Stupid O'Clock. He's a fantabulous author. He created Apphilian.com for those of you who are sci-fi nuts, and I love it. Then I get no random. I hate this, but have to listen because streaming service is rude. Exactly. He has some music available on Bandcamp at a very depends on my mood. I do like instrumentals, though my music on my phone is not that. It's much more angry. I understand that. Sometimes angry music is how one calms down. Why? I'm getting a comment dump. Ooh. Okay. It's my workout cleaning music when they need to get me going. And IndieCD.com about Dan Hallfield. It's awesome, Dan's music. He actually has some pretty good upbeat music if it's for that. If I remember correctly, you can preview music on Bandcamp before purchasing. Yes, you can. I'll give it a look. Always like to find new artists. Yes, please. I've been playing his Displaced Detective Suite during my live streams when doing pyrography. Words I know that I don't say a lot. She's looking through my stuff right now. I've got about 8 gigs of music on my desktop, including a few instrumentals from guys like Ichikamo and Polyphia. I think I know them. Our combined music library is large and eclectic. That's how I like it. My library is rather small, unlike my wife's library. Her music and book library are probably 100 times more than what I have. Sounds right. He has more music. I have more books. We have about 600 books in the house, I bet, which is a lot in a 2-bedroom apartment. That's a lot for a 2-bedroom. They more or less take up the second bedroom with weapon racks between the bookcases. That's called living the dream. There's a reason he picked Bladed Thesis as a screen name. It is so good. And I will be a bit late coming back. One of the pizza ovens is broke, so I have a 30-minute wait for pizza. I also have 4.5 movie racks filled with movies and games. Yay! Hooray for Captain Spaulding, African explorer. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Sure, when I win Lotto, I can travel that what I want, LOL. You need Nick's books. This is Cindy being awesome. You can learn about swords and spears, melee combat, even nifty artwork supported tales. Yes, thank you. That's all on my Amazon. which would be most of what I do with the money. I have relatively little that I would buy. I don't need a mansion, but to travel and see different people and places, yes. Support Nick's efforts to empower the stealthily empowered. Patreon.com/the Historical Fencing Guild. Don't forget to hit tip your host. Yes, folks, if you want to just donate directly because you don't like Patreon, feel free to paypal.me/Nicholas Talker. Any amount of money will be cheerfully thanked and rewarded. Let's get back to where we are. Okay. Tip, don't plug in your fork. That's a good tip. Don't plug in the goldfish either. I wondered when that would come up. Tune into the Historical Fencing Guild 7 p.m. on Friday. That's 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern right now. Nick's art can be found on deviantart.com/NickT. I have a backlog, so there will be multiple art pieces going up fairly soon. Nick even has his own website, nicholastalker.com. Yes, and that will be getting an update in the near future. I'm basically going to have to do the whole post-it note prioritized shuffling to figure out what I'm doing where. Sometimes the song speaks to you. Sometimes the song speaks for you. I'll give this as free advice, especially to men of certain ages. That being hitting 30, 35, or 40. Do not listen to Bob Seger on your birthday. Like a Rock is far more than a Chevy commercial. I tell you what, it is a journey back in time that's a little hard on any of us who've gained in the middle and had to deal with all the liars and their schemes. But sometimes you sing along, it speaks through you. I have an interesting assortment of music on my phone, ranges to everything from Eastern Orthodox chants to prog metal to alternative and metal. Awesome. Hey, Cindy, working on your indie CD page right now. Awesome. Okay, so I've caught up with everybody. 12 minutes in. So, Foxy shared it around first. Actually, Foxy and Thesis are responsible for the two stories I want to talk about. Oh, that's up. Polyphia sounds really familiar. And CKOEPP.com. Just go there, get her stuff. Cindy's amazing author, artist. She makes amaguri things that are mind-blowing. Okay. I do lots of rock metal work, keeps my energy up. I understand. I listen to a lot of bossa nova. I listen to a lot of smooth jazz. I listen to angry metal / emo at times. Because Amy Lee's the Evanescence Fallen CD came at a point in my life where that was the only thing that kept my brain focused to get through just a wellspring of very complex writing. So yeah, blast the pain from my brain. I get it. Now, be a shame if there was somebody commenting just to see that you can no longer get caught up in the game. A real shame, a true shame. Well, I mean, like a tragedy, really. Oh, you have to have a sense of humor in this business. Truly awful. Now, it's up to you. We can do that, or I can discuss combat corsetry. It's up to you. But one of the stories that was, yes, you're awful, but I love you guys. One of the stories that came up is the TSA caught 2 swords. Now, the problem is these alleged swords were sais. And sais have no edges. I mean, if they don't want them on their plane, fine. It's their planes. They can take a rolling donut. But calling them swords caused a just downpour of beautiful comments. So I want you guys to look this story up when you're bored, because the comment section is just solid gold of sword references, and I'm responsible. Told you were in trouble. Of course you are. And Ninja Turtle references. So it's very good. And we talk. That's in the Historical Fencing Guild public group. That is linked. Please go there, follow there, so you can keep up with the wonderful chats. Now, also, there has been a big dust up in the periodicals because somebody said that BBC and Netflix were banning corsets. Why am I talking about this? Well, one, no. Nope. Nope. Now, one of my favorite YouTube channels had to get into this. Recoil. I have a feeling that's my fault on the pizza. It happens. Recoil's having a main character designed with a bladed flamber size. Okay, then it's not a sai. You can call them sais, but it's not a sai. It just becomes a dagger with a blade catcher guard. I have sais, and they are. Let me see. I don't know if they're here. Give me just a second. I think they all got moved downstairs. Dang it! I'm not going downstairs midstream. Not doing it. Love you guys, but that's stairs. So, what do I have a sai in here? Whoop! Nope, I don't. But I have something close. Okay, here we go. Now, if these went up straight, it would be a dagger with catch guards. Okay, that's fine. That's a sword breaker dagger. Sais have a round or usually octagonal narrow shaft. They were meant to be defensive tools. They were actually Okinawan policing tools. Sai is singular. Fish asked me why I know what that is. Okay, cool. Well, you guys know it's on. But once you blade it, it stops being a sai. That's like saying it's like a bladed baseball bat. It doesn't hit. And you know what? I will bite. Why do you know, Cindy? Let's see, she's biting too. Everyone's biting Cindy. Run, Cindy, run! Anyway. Because they were designed to defend, but be very hard to actually kill with. When you look at the mythos of most people in America know a sai from the Ninja Turtles. This is interesting because each of the Ninja Turtles characters, their weapons, the four traditional, we'll keep it simple for now, their weapons were completely opposite of their nature. Michelangelo wields nunchucks. Nunchucks take the most focus and control to not brain yourself with because they're flail weapons. By using those, it forced him to lean into his weakness and grow stronger. Leonardo he was a leader, but he didn't want to harm someone. He didn't want to be cutthroat. Having dual swords, dual katana, forces him to always pay attention because it would be so easy to. It forces him to act and not be passive. Donatello was the most complex thinker. So a simple wooden staff forces him to kind of purify his thoughts, condense all the madness into simplicity. And Raphael, was the most angry, aggressive fighter. So giving him the most defensive weapons forced him to focus on control. Or Elektra or the Mummy Returns. That's true. Okay. Cindy says, I wrote a story with the character who used them, and I did research to find out how they work and the rest of that kind of stuff. It's a great subject. Or Elektra or The Mummy Returns. The Mummy Returns were ornamental daggers that had psi-like blades because I think one of them gets a cheek cut. But yes, I guess police batons some cops decide to play with down here do be looking a lot like machetes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even surprised. Oh, I found out why Dragon isn't working so well on my computer anymore. It isn't supported on Windows 11. Oh no, you have my condolences, Cindy. But it is interesting to see how people who are versed in what we do versus approach discussing things versus people who have some idea what's going on discuss things. Like in every sword is a katana in the news, unless it's a katana and then it's a samurai sword. It hurts. Now, I think we have an obligation to instruct people and share what we know. That's why I write the books. That's why I do this channel. But also, be careful not to get too annoyed at the people who are wrong, folks, because we don't ever want to look like jerks. Please like this video. I found out just how badly the algorithm has been throttling my efforts, and it's really actually quite heartrending. But anyway, so I have to bowl through the errors and crashes or start typing 20 minutes at a time, rant over back to topic. It happens. Tonight has already shown that topic is not something. Evil bots. Yes. I was messing around with Google Images and searching for Egyptian swords, and 90% of the pictures were Sai. Oh, that one gets me. That one gets me. Not a leaf blade dagger, not a subtle curve, a proto scimitar. No, not a Kopesh. No. Not a falchion. Not a scimitar. No. It must be size. Oh, that hurts my brain. I almost tried Sai at first, but it just didn't fit my style of movement. No, I really, from what I'm hearing, those Elkhorn daggers should really work well with your very boxery-ish. The other thing you might consider are the cold steel trench knife trainers, because those are just knuckle dusters with knives on the ends. They're great fun. Wait, a well-traveled Sai, it got money. Yeah. The more annoyed he gets, the poofier. That's true. Like, I start looking like I'm going to go, aliens, you know? I blame Mummy Returns, which is a fabulous movie. I love the Mummy movies. Basically, saying Rachel Weisz is a great way to get me interested in anything. But when you add the whole rest of the cast, including, God, I lost his name. Oh, his name fell out. O'Connell. Come on. Anyway, and it's not that I don't love the actor, Brendan Fraser. I had to say love. You have my attention. The cast of The Mummy, especially 1999, that's just a problematic cast for a lot of people. And let's see if we can't Einstein him. Well, we will see. It's all relative. He did bad at math too, so maybe there's more to me than you think. So, my point being on all this, don't get too. It can be frustrating, But don't be rude to the people making a mistake, because it's an honest mistake. Now, if they correct you, correct them. If they hold on to it, you have the God-given right to be wrong and walk away. Don't get pulled into things. I still remember arguing with someone for over an hour after Tomb of the Dragon Emperor came out that there were no mummies outside of Egypt. No, there are mummies anywhere that supports it. Mummies can happen accidentally. Now, granted, we are past the period where bored rich Victorians and later unwrap mummies to look at the bodies as entertainment. But I mean, that's where the movie took place. There would be movies with mummies in other places if they were a thing. Anyhow, see, I'm not getting pulled into that. I'm really tempted to open the door and shout to my wife, because that would make her hemorrhage out her eyeballs, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to talk about the discussion that made my wife want to hemorrhage out her eyeballs. Let's talk about corsets. Because, oh God. No, don't do this to me, guys. They also ground them up to be used in painting. Yes. Some idiots claim that pirates were only in the Caribbean because Chun Yao Fat's portrayal of Shao Fat. Oh, God. And I can't remember the pirate queen's name. Oh, God, she's Chinese. And she was so good at piracy that the Chinese government bought her out to make her stop. Oh, God. Red sails. Friends, pirates did not start in the golden age of piracy in the Caribbean. Pirates, as long as there have been boats, there have been people on other boats taking people's stuff. And they are currently going on. I will give you a hint. My father, whom I love, was in the Brown Water Navy in Vietnam in the spicy period of Vietnam's history, where there was boat-to-boat combat, and guys would jump across and kill other people, sometimes with knives, and take their stuff. There were river pirates in Indiana. Go to Hole and Rock. There are Russian pirates and African pirates and big red-haired guys in longboat pirates. Piracy happens. And you wouldn't download a sword, so don't download a song. Okay. Corsets. Made a couple. Find them not that great, but they're part of costumes. Okay. We got to talk about... Yes, Somalia. Yeah, the Caribbean's a lot bigger than I thought. Dang it. But getting back into corsets. A proper corset, one, is much like proper armor. In proper corsetry, a woman can do nearly anything that they could do out of it. It supports the back, supports the diaphragm, supports the tatas. distributing the weight, especially for busty women, from the front across the superstructure. The corsetry functioned traditionally far more like a bra in that it lifts and holds and supports than a slimming agent for the vast majority of history. It was architecture for the boobs. And I'm sorry if that's a little blunt, but that's basically happens. Now, yes, and finding pre-made ones are very difficult, and much later in period they were worn tighter and they did different things. But the vast majority of the period, certainly in the Middle Ages and Renaissance, corsetry was more about support and streamlining than this, we're going to squeeze and crack your rib cages and stuff. It became problematic. But as there are some delightful videos that can show you, in a fitted corset, a woman should be able to move just about how she would move, except for a little bit of the abdominal flexation, which makes sense. So it's just bad use, and that goes back like Jill Barrett referenced some points, and she had a much more optimistic view on many things than I, as an American, have on the mentality of the American media. We live in an era where, for men to look appropriate, they have to be deadly dehydrated to look great shirtless, and we've lost what real strength, what real strength looks like. If you want to see the strongest people in the world, look at the build of the strongman and strongwomen competitions. Look at the folks who go to the Highland Games and yeet cabers around for fun. Before I blew out certain key bits in my youth, I was actually attempting to train to be a caber tosser. It was many, many, many years ago. And those of you who don't know what a caber is, it's essentially chunks of a telephone pole. Big, long logs leading up to essentially a full tree. Carry it, yeet it. The Highland Games like to do things like that and lift up very large boulders and move them around, sometimes stacking them. These are very simple, but they're true insane feats of strength. But you have to be careful because you can blow things out. If you're only... Now, let's see. I've done dance programs in corsets. I believe it. You should. You have some nice ones. Thank you. Yes, Johnny's talking. Okay, we have... I missed some stuff. Modern pre-made corsets aren't fitted and made as well. That's one thing we lost with the devotion to mass production. Tailoring. The art of individual tailoring has been lost to the masses, and it is a great tragedy. Especially because I believe that our society works very hard to make sure that only people of certain measurements look good. And there is a desire to keep women of certain builds from having access to clothes that look attractive on them and highlight their figures. It is a higher version of the pink tax to find it, and I think that's just wrong. Now, why does that go to a sword fight show? Because armoring. The same problems you find with corsetry are the things you find with armoring. People complain, well, armor is bulky and it doesn't fit. If you couldn't move in armor, no one would use it. If you get no protection, if you can't function in a very agile system of combat, and all combat has to be agile, you have to be able to move. It's sort of like the dinosaurs that they thought were all stop motion-y, and the tails dragged or lumber, they had to stand in the water to hold up. That doesn't make evolutionary sense. The the armor has to suit you. It has to fit. It has to keep everybody together. And you have to be able to move. That's called articulation. Whether it's done by having armor that at its base is flexible, something like chainmail, or making sure that the way your plates overlap and the leather strapping that keeps them there before they tie on. Yes, it ties on. The vast majority of armor tied on right through chainmail when you think plate to the padded. Yes, they wore padded armor under it. Was it hot? Yes. Was it hard to get out of? Yes. That meant people in long combat would do bodily functions in their armor. Yes, that's nasty. Yes, the smell is horrific. That is the truth. That's part of why they were very happy to get away from it. But you need to be able to be mobile. You need to be able to move and do stuff. And if the armor is fitted and made right, tailored, it will allow you to move with minimal impediment. You will feel the impediment, but you can work with it. I have a lot of experience with light armor. That's padded cloth. I have some experience with medium armor, light floating plates and stuff, and I have some with heavy armor, which would be like my Lorica. I have a set of Lorica segmentata, and other things like that. Big old honking heavy helms, things like that. The weight is distributed across the body. Yes, you have to train. You have to train to move around in this stuff. Yes, it is heavy to an extent, but this is your livelihood. This is what's keeping you alive. This is your job and your survival. You're gonna train or you're gonna die. Hope we got lots of comments. Thank you. Yes, Johnny's artistical proportions are delightful. Yeah, Mr. Universe physique is about as realistic as the hyper scrawny supermodel gal physique. It's just not sustainable. The body has to have some fat. The mountain from Game of Thrones is huge and probably stronger than he is. Not probably. That man pulls trucks around recreationally. I believe he did a bunch of the strongman competitions. They do crazy stuff. Go look up strongman. What you'll see are these barrel-chested, large guys. Because your body has this muscle develop, and then it gets fat over the muscle to help protect the body. And it takes vast amounts of caloric energy to do things like lift these objects repetitively. It takes huge amounts of water to keep this machine going. And that mythos is something that needs to be addressed. Got lucky with my early influences. And yes, I've seen a video or a few that showed average sized guys in plate armor with appropriate garments doing gymnastics. I've seen them outrun firemen. I've seen them outrun police officers. I've seen them outrun some military. Usually the military wins, but it's quite a chase, gentlemen, because the infantry, think of the amount of weight the average infantryman carries. It's a staggering amount of weight. The armored combatant of old had to carry a lot of weight, and they just did it. You ruck up, embrace the suck, and move on. I'm glad. I love superhero style work, but so it's too fantastic for me. You have a lovely balance. Oh, I love this. I still remember Skull's fantasy boobery armor. He had to take it down. Do you ever do prints? Never done it. Yeah, Johnny needs to do some stuff. Afford originals. The closest to armor I've ever been in when Foxy I found an old copper diver's helmet. Well, that's okay. A diver's helmet is deliberately extra heavy to keep you down on the bottom. and keep it self-oriented where the air is coming in. And it may bubble out the bottom. Wish I had the money. I get it. I'll look into prints. I'd like something. You should. I know I'm planning to at least run off copies of that wonderful picture you did for me that's going up on my wall. I just have to get my color printer hooked up. I'd appreciate it. Yes, he should be selling them. A friend of mine is the Armor Reserves. We were talking about how much gear he wears in a potential combat setting. More than I weigh. Yes. I have a photo of me. I'd love to see that. You have to understand weight and necessity for someone who's going into combat as a trained soldier is radically different than that of, frankly, fairly weak civilians. We don't do a lot of physical labor. We're all fairly shoddy overall athletes. I want to work on that. It's something I desperately want to change. It's something I want to encourage you guys to change. That's because I need to get in shape to be able to be in the gear to do what I do. Speaking of gear, we've hammered on the subject a bit. I want to talk about something. This is my old rapier. It needs love. So I want to know for sure, because I'm going to be fairly soon sitting down and giving this a complete workover. And I almost hate, because some of this patina is actually protective, but do you guys want me to try to set up the camera in such a way where you can watch me take apart and chat and get this back in fighting form? Talk about the parts, maybe some of the history of the piece. Because I have to talk that... Oh, wait, what's this? Closest I've gotten to armor was talking to friends from Rio de Janeiro who need Kevlar to buy groceries. Yeah, Rio's gorgeous. I have no desire to go there. But scary, totally, dude. Oh, you left to... Okay, so I will try to set up a way, it may involve duct tape, of getting my camera at an angle where you won't be able to see my face as well, but you'll be able to see what I'm working on. I may have to not shoot, not run it live, but shoot it old Scott style on my phone just to get the angles. We'll see. But this, my baby is going to get a little love in the very near future. Because at the end of summer, or nearing the end of summer, in July, I will, and local historical fencing guild types will be going to the Shakespeare in the Park as an opener. Now, I would love to get in shape enough where I can handle those, and at which it would mean I could spar with Jim, probably if he could make it, definitely Trey, definitely Joey, and have steel on steel fencing as part of the entertainment. I think that would be fun. But as is, we're set up to do the plastic rapiers for training leading into it. Yes, nothing wrong with duct tape. Love duct tape. Don't tell the other gringos the prettier beaches are up north. I won't. No one would listen to me anyway. My favorite non-martial movies is Men of Honor with Cuba Gooding Jr. I don't know, Cuba. Anyway, finding that diver's helmet was pretty cool. That is cool. You just did. Y'all get a pass. Thank you. Foxy, don't push it. Just nod and smile. Oh, thank you. This is a lot like when my favorite Mexican restaurant started charging me what the dinner actually cost instead of making me pay the gringo tax. You just nod and smile. And when they had somebody who's new who didn't know I had been around long enough, I paid the gringo tax and I nodded and smiled. And I still tipped because that's what you do. They got closed down probably for health code violations, but come on, it was a good Mexican restaurant. You expect such things. Uh, Sadly, as much as I love to probably be, well, I'm probably lighter than the sand. Oh, that happens. So those of I am fairly transparent. This is the darkest tan I think I've ever had. Actually, I'm pale, but so we're looking into that. I spoke with Christian briefly today, and hopefully some of the link issues to woodenswords.com will be rectified. I am looking forward to that. There are some new polypropylene trainers that are coming across the market. One of our old Chinese food places gave me a discount because I could order in Chinese and have short conversations with the waiter and greeter. Yes. Then I would look like a cooked lobster. I come in two colors, pale or red. I understand this. This is why I wear hats. I also have insane light sensitivity in my eyes, which is why I'm fully comfortable in the woods where it's shady and quiet. I get along well in places that, moss grows. From ebony to ivory, every skin color can thrive here. I'm a mix of both ends myself. Awesome. Yay, hats. Butter covered. I'm not going. No, y'all can get me in trouble. I love all the colors we come in. Oh yeah. So, not the green room. Anyway, but yeah, so we're looking at that. Now there are some new trainers. I am looking through. It looks like there's another company making some interesting trainers, so I want to see if I can find them at reasonable prices to review. I know you guys would love for me to review the couple $100 trainers that LK Chen puts out. I just can't afford to drop that right now. Also, we are only a couple weeks likely from having proper practices, and there's an ever so slight chance that I may get to play a bit tomorrow because I will be joined by James Robertson, Jim, who most likely is coming to kick our butts in Magic Commander. But you see how Nick avoided that bio glitch there? That was impressive. I tried. Thank you. I'm getting better. But if anything fun happens, I'll try to get recorded because I know you guys love that. And I'd like to do more gear and maintenance discussion as the year goes on. But I need to know, as usual, things you guys want me to focus on. Are we getting due where I need to say, okay, guys, go gather up Sword Meme Review and do another Sword Meme Review? Do you want me to do a base instruction warm-up? Is there a style that maybe you feel I've neglected? Let me know, because I really want this show especially to be a resource. Wow, it is really... Wait. That doesn't need to be open like that. Whew, it's warm in here. But, because this is about serving the community. And unfortunately, this is the time of year where we all have to assess where we are, health and physical wise, and work towards getting better so that, a lot of it is getting in shape to get in shape and finding the right tools at the right cost. I am tempted to do a program on how I did plastidip boffer making. That's, I did custom plastidip swords. I actually sold a few. They were quite expensive due to the huge amount of hours it takes to make them. But I did those for cosplay props. If that's something you guys are interested in seeing as well, let me know. I want to kind of start backstopping my agendas for you guys. Because very soon, schedules may shift. I'm trying to get live practices going on. I'm slowly re-improving, and that's all we can do is slowly re-improve. Build back up as best we can. one of the sad challenges is as we age, it gets harder to build back up. But I'm motivated quite a bit to do that because I want you guys to have the best shot. Now, I do want to do a whole series on basic weapons of RPGs, basic weapons of D&D, where, because I should have enough of the trainers that I can show trainer versions and the techniques that they're used. This is something that's coming down the pipe. I have a bunch of paracord, so if I can find some of those cheap cloth masks, I may do some more sling work. Let's see. Oh, yep. We changed some meds around, and the new antidepressant thing seems to be upping stamina. Depression sucks your stamina. Stress sucks your stamina. Both of those produce cortisol, which lands right on the belly. That's why when you look at me, I carry the vast majority of my weight front and center dad bod style because I'm stressed out. I'm the father of an autistic kid. I'm trying to launch game companies and stuff. And the last few years have been a roller coaster. But me too. I want my 40s to be better than my 30s were. Exactly. Johnny was goalkeeping, took damage to the... Gosh darn it. I'll get back my cardio later. Okay, well, maybe you can do some upper body stuff. Just sit in the chair and do some light lifts or something. Because you're just such an athletic person. Don't get your hands damaged. Now that I have my new microphone, I can come on to field some Chinese martial arts garden. Probably not next Friday, as that will be my mother's 65th birthday, but maybe on the 10th. Well, then message me before that, and we'll set something up. And all I can think of is Skyrim. Lover's Lab booting up. No, Johnny. Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, we got to get your knee fixed. Don't do that. We want to keep you healthy, guys. I have been largely doing a lot of drills. I kind of, if I could get the money, I'm geek tempted to get a second one of these Sayers so I can have a balanced set to really get my flow on. Quick before the hyenas come, dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel. Anyway, yes, don't mess with the knees. But because I've been really having fun flowing with this weapon, not as practical. I love the light rapiers, but yes. Okay, let's see. There was a student in one of the Tai Chi who damaged her knee and ankle. She did upper hand movements in form till she could stand up. Chair Tai Chi is a great thing if your knees are shot. Mine are shot and have been for decades. I do want to talk about something else. I am crispy about it. I am downright crunchy. There's a fella out there, a couple of fellas out there who do videos on weapons, and they do hard to hurt and all this stuff. And usually the point of their videos are, well, it's not really that effective. The best thing you could do is hit somebody with a flashlight and have like BJJ as your defense, or mixed martial arts or something. But there are a lot of people starting to talk about combative cane. And one thing that drives me absolutely bonkers is they're talking about combative cane so that you use it as a defensive tool, but not for people who really need a cane. And it drives me nuts because understanding how a cane works combatively, being a walking stick to a short cane to a Joe staff, whatever, is radically different if you are using it in part or full for your support as a means of locomotion. It needs to be understood and discussed. And it needs to be understood and discussed from not a superhuman mentality, but from a real, okay, you need this to stand up. It's like the people who want to teach great big snap kicks. Okay, wait, we've got some comment. Tai Chi. We did that minor shot. My right knee lately keeps trying to collapse under me. It's painful and annoying, and I'm trying to find a brace that doesn't have a stupid hole over the kneecap. You almost expressly won't. If you have medical insurance, please seek out physical therapists and occupational therapists, because what they can do is they can send you and have a custom orthotic made. I wear orthotics in my shoes. I sleep in orthotics. I used to have to wear them all the time. I've worn just about every knee brace that you can buy over the counter over the years, because my knee had been damaged. So please go talk to the professionals. It's the best thing you can do if you can. Why would I want to roll on the ground with somebody for self-defense? I mean, if we're already down there, fine, but otherwise, exactly. Seems kind of pervy. I swear I wasn't even trying this time. No, you weren't, because it's tactically unsound. Because you should always train like there's another bad person. That bad person is substituting for a 7-letter word. I'm trying to work on my language. But I'll take it. Absolutely. So if you need a cane, I may do a refresher on the levels of cane use, depending on how you are feeling. The whole of these ones, my kneecap wiggles and moves around, and that is highly, because you have hyperflexibility. I would definitely say talk to medical professionals, and if you don't like what they say, find another. It's a pain in the butt, but it's about the only way to find and get what you need. And I need to check something that may be important. Because, well, wait. No, they didn't leave a message. Wait, voicemail pending. I'll have to look that up, but got about 2 minutes left, so let's see what we have. Kneecap wiggles around. Guys, we need to we really need to just focus on training. The other thing, weather dependent and upgrades on my facilities dependent. I want to get back to throwing. I had a list of things that I lost being able to do because of my hands. I want to see how many of them I can get back. If I could go back to knife throwing, I would love to go back to knife throwing. I miss thunking, a foot of metal out. Let's see. Oh, yeah, my first REM was not a good visit. We're not running on any tests. You're just fat. I was highly irritated. I've been working on my way back from severe depression that caused. That was unprofessional. And do you know what? I had the same thing happen when I went to my nerve doctor. I went to a nerve doctor to find out why my leg was dropping me. And he literally said, "You were just morbidly fat." That was his whole diagnosis. I was tortured basically for an hour and a half because they could not get my nerves to work with the electrified needle test. And they had to re-administer it. And it actually pulled every muscle group in my arms and legs. Left me bleeding like a stuck pig. And they set me on my way. And the response I got out of that, agony. Because, the test does. We're going to stab electric needles into your nerves, shoot electricity through your nerves, and see what convulses. And because things didn't convulse, their response was, well, it was inconclusive. I don't know. I would say it didn't work. Got a new doctor, got new meds. I'm doing better. But they had to fire him. Well, encourage him to retire with extreme prejudice. My old coach had something like that, an ACL repaired on the other leg. Fun guy. Well, it sounds like he's been there. Go get Nick's books. Go get Nick's books. They are fun. Amazon.com/store/Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tucker. Tune into the Historical Fencing Guild at 7. Yes. I wasn't literally said, but that was the gist. Still, go get another doctor. Ask for a female doctor. Ask around. We drove over 2 hours and got lost to go to the appointment. Nah, you don't have anything, so we aren't even going to bother testing you. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to have an MRI on my spine, and they refused to because it was misfiled. So yeah, I understand. And you can find my art. And the nurse's assistant. Well, unfortunately, people have a weight bias. And check out my page where most of my links are, nicholastucker.com. Also, guys, a little bit of me paying my bills. Yeah, I don't trust any of them. I had 5 Minute Firestone, who I have one leg shorter than the other. I was spiral fracturing my femur by walking. I was in constant bone break agony. His response was to look at me, Taco. Well, you're young, it's growing pains, take some ibuprofen. Yeah, I nearly got crippled. The only thing that saved me was I had a good sports trainer who made me tape and keep things going. Foxy, I went to doctor because I was dropping weight fast. I went to the doctor, said, no, nothing wrong. No, nothing wrong with being at your size. 90 pounds at 5'4". Good Lord. Thank goodness for my GP. I really like him. I have an amazing nurse. I don't have a doctor. I have a nurse practitioner, AGNP, named Michelle. She is phenomenal. I have a problem. I talk to her. She gets it solved. I understand our healthcare because government runs it. That y'all got to pay on the spot to be treated like that is just like, wow. Yeah, I'm helping promote a campaign because somebody had to pay $30,000. They're $30,000 in debt because they caught the bug that was out there. It's rough. This is why we have to practice the safety in what we do. I don't want you ever getting hurt doing martial arts that I promote. That's why I'm always stretch, hydrate, be safe. That's the only way we're going to get better. My mom was U5-600. She was size 0. Wow. Y'all got some tiny folks in your families. My mom's not, she's tiny, but not that tiny. But that being said, anybody of any size can learn martial arts, and they're there for you. Now, you may not be able to do everything, either from physical weakness or because, you're carrying enough weight that it interferes, but you can learn to do something. 5'2" and 200. Patreon.com/the Historical Fencing Guild support all stuff. Yeah, that's what we're about, folks. I want to help people find styles that work for them. Before they passed, Kitson Windsor was in a wheelchair with extreme weight loss. I'm sorry, not weight loss. Extreme physical weakness due to a nerve condition. We were talking about they want to learn to sword fight and knew they never could. I'm like, wait, we can figure something out. And they were starting to drill with a collapsible antenna because it was light enough that they could hold it. Anyone can and should be able to learn to sword fight to some degree and get to be your own hero. That's what I'm about. That's what I want. Tonight kind of got off the rails, which is good. I think everybody had fun. Yeah, my wife used to pick me up and walk off with me if I was caught in a conversation too long. Thanks for that. Can and have carried thesis off before. I'm not even surprised. I currently am 5 foot between 7 and 8, depending on what joint is popped where. And I think I clock in about 5'9" in my shoes because of the different lifts and stuff. Last I saw was around 330 pounds. I am a big boy. I picked up most of this weight due to a year worth of narcolepsy and the neuropathy not letting me move. And I'm fighting every day to get back. Don't give her ideas. Hey, you want a beautiful woman to pick you up. Don't worry about it. Snoo happens. Just go with it. But all jests aside, guys, I'm planning some stuff, so there may be extra videos in the fairly near future as my situation improves. We'll be seeing you all very, very soon. You can catch me on yeah, see, came in handy during your dang tip stuff. We'll catch us all Monday for Nevermind the Furthermore. And I should be doing a art time with Nick tomorrow early if I can get enough work done. And if not, well, then I'll work my butt off, do that, have my guests. And if that doesn't work, I'll do it Sunday. But it should be a good one. Now, approved. Now when I'm talking, she wants to leave. She just picked me up and yeah, that's a good woman. Good woman is strong like bull. Grog drag. Oh god. Oh, and yes, I am totally ready for more Vox Machina. The grog thing set me off. But with all that, guys, we got way off. But I think we had a fun show and we brought entertainment to everybody. So I will see you all very soon, guys. Do your drills. They're listed in the book. If you don't know the sword drills, the very first video ever shown on this channel, it's in vertical format, was the basic 9 drills. It still has value after all these years. And you get to see a younger, skinnier, and much darker browned Nick. Keep your eyes open. You know, the best way to deal with a threat is to get out of the way before it's ever here. Be kind to yourself and each other. Because somebody has to. And as always, thank you for supporting your local Swordmaster. Guys, I will see you all very soon. Have a wonderful evening. If it lets me on those